Hello there, fellow talkbackers. This is Wake Up. I'm going to talk to you now about a game that I've just completed a couple of days ago called Red Dead Redemption. I was going to do this review straight away, however, I needed time to churn over what I just experienced. And believe me, people, it is one hell of a good experience. This is a Western game, first off. It's a tip of the hat to every single iconic Western image ever created. I'm thinking Sergio Leone's Man with No Name. I'm thinking saloons. I'm thinking hookers. I'm thinking jewels in the sun as its setting. This game is just ridiculously good. We've had gaming quality has been ridiculously high this time run now. We've had Heavy Rain. We've had Dragon Age Origins. We've had Mass Effect 2. And even to the extent I would go so far as to say as Assassin's Creed 2. We've had some really, truly amazing games. And even Final Fantasy, what's the new one called? 13? I really enjoyed that game. But let me tell you, for any gamer fans out there, Red Dead Redemption is a must. I mean, the story is phenomenal. The character, John Marston, is one of the baddest motherfuckers ever. I mean, you start off as this guy called John Marston, and basically his wife and kid have been kidnapped, and he's working along the straight and narrow now. He wants to be a rancher, first off, but he used to be an outlaw. He had a dark past, and you really invest very heavily in this guy. Like the more time you put into it, you really feel this guy. You really understand him. You know, it's up to you, the player, if you want to be a good guy and save Armadillo, which is the town that you're in, or you want to be an outlaw and go back to your old ways. And basically, you've been hired by the US government to track down your old outlaw buddies and take them out. It's basically GTA on a horse, except, bear this in mind, people, there is so much more than that. I mean, this game is just absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the best games I've ever played. The setting is just speechless. You know, there are some... You intend to play this game for like an hour or so, and you'll end up playing it for 4. Because you get hooked in, it sucks you in, it grows on you like a fungus. And it takes its time to develop every single character. And like, even the side characters, like Westmoreland or West Dickens and Marshall and Leonard Ricketts and these are some truly memorable characters with some good backstories. And even Seth, the gravedigger, the grave robber, you know. And depending on how fast you play this will depend on how much enjoyment you get out of it. For example, I completed the fort mission where you basically have to break into one of your old gang members' forts that he's now taken over. I completed all that set of side quests in a day because I couldn't stop. I played it in 24 hours straight. I was hooked. And when it came to the Mexico Revolution scene, when I went down to Mexico, that took me a long time, about a good month, because I couldn't get into it. However, my sister, on the other hand, who's also a big fan of this game, and she's just turned 20, it was the other way round. She couldn't complete the fort missions. It really got on her nerves. And then when she went to Mexico, she thrived. She loved it. And it's just one of these games that no matter how long it takes you to complete it, when you do, you feel just... It takes your breath away. You know, I mean, the ending to this game is by far one of the greatest endings, or one of the greatest stories told. You know, I mean, you think of these iconic stories like Unforgiven, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, even though Have Hope does not like that film. But it's a classic. It's a classic story. We all know it. We've all heard fables about it, for God's sake. And yet, the way it's been done in here, it seems so fresh. You know? I mean, it reminds me an awful lot of this old video game that I used to play on the Xbox called Gun, right? Which had Chris Christopherson and Thomas Jane doing the voice acting. And just, it's a love letter to all Western fans. Like, you know, and this game has so much love, so much attention to detail. Rockstar have pulled it out again. You know, I wasn't a big fan of Grand Theft Auto. You know, I've never really been that. I could never get involved. I could never understand where Nico was coming from. And and just I didn't really like it. I didn't really appreciate it. Whereas Red Dead Redemption, from about a quarter of the way in, I was fully invested in John Marston, who is by far one of the coolest looking video game characters ever created. If you doubt me, go on to www.talkbackworld.net and prove me wrong. Join the debate, or leave a comment in the comments box down below. But you'll be hard pressed to find even more of a badass than John Marston, and it's just to coin a phrase, even from the blurb on the back of this thing. The setting is America, 1911. The Wild West is dying. When federal agents threaten his family, former outlaw John Marston is forced to pick up his guns again and hunt down the gang of criminals he once called friends. Experience an epic fight for survival across the sprawling expanses of the American West and Mexico as John Marston struggles to bury his blood-stained past, one man at a time. Outlaws to the end. It doesn't get any more grittier than this game. You invest so much into John Marston and getting his family back that it's just unbelievable, and that's why the ending is just phenomenally good. Ridiculously so. I mean, why aren't we getting good movies made like this? Made like video games? I mean, look at Heavy Rain. I mean, I've already mentioned this, but the quality of video games is just phenomenal nowadays. And the reason being is because they're looked at as a joke. They're looked at by the mass majority of the public as an outlet for teenagers, And that mentality we used to have for action movies and for films in general. It was looked at, if you liked action movies, then you were a stereotypical bloke, And that's why, newsflash people, action movies stopped getting made. Which is why you must support Expendables. Because you need to show those suits at Hollywood that, there is still a market for these types of films. I am more excited over Expendables, I know this is a sidetrack, than I am Inception. Inception looks good. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But Expendables, that's going to be the movie of the year. But anyway, back to Red Dead Redemption. I definitely give this game it's not even a very impressive game. It's like one of the best video games I've ever played. And all the characters involved, everything that you associate with the Western culture, and that I've known, and I'm a big Western film buff. I love my Western films, And if there are any other classic Western films that aren't normally ranted and raved about, leave me a comment, please, because I will definitely check it out. I hate the fact that good films nowadays, unfortunately, and even good video games to an extent, are being forgotten, and we're just getting bogged down with substandard crap films like Iron Man 2, A-Team, and unfortunately some crap games. As long as Activision keeps making games, we're going to get shit games. I mean, look at this new Transformers War on Cybertron game. The reason that hasn't been selling really large copies, is because you've had all these other Transformers games beforehand, which have just been, for lack of a better term, crap. Whereas this one, War on Cybertron, I'm in the middle of playing it now, fellas and ladies out there, and it's very, very good. It's definitely worth checking out. I mean, it's entertaining, and it's more to the core of what I see Transformers as than any of those Michael Bay shit, which he must have had a hand in that. Blatantly must have, because I mean, those games were terrible. But then again, all video games that are based on movies generally are. If it says, the new Iron Man 2 movie game, I mean, if there is any decent movie games out there, leave a comment. Anyway, the site, www.talkbackworld.net, for the real genuine fan. I mean, join the debate. If you have an opinion and you're not a drone, bay out and...
Are you crazy? Gonna kill me?
You're welcome.
Every one of us is expendable.
Yeah, bro, man.
Fucking awesome.
Oh my god.
How cool is that?
Some really good actors in there.
I know.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be fucking sweet.
That's gonna be quite good, isn't it?